And we're live. Welcome back. Another fun adventure in Betrayal at Krondor land. Yeah, so just figure I'd give you a little recap. So last time we started chapter 2 and got about halfway to Romney, which is where we're trying to get to. Decided to do a little side quest up near Sethanon and got stuck. I couldn't figure out how to complete the quest. Well, turns out I didn't actually talk to the guy I needed to talk to in the first place. So that's the first thing we're going to do once we start things up. Other than that, we're going to finish off chapter 2 and see what chapter 3 has in store for us. And without further ado, let's go. Let me know if the volume of the music is too loud or I'm too quiet or anything else like that. I did mess around with the video settings a bit, so hopefully everything should fit on the screen this time. If not, I might be a little grumpy. Okay, so here we are at Max Feber's house. The guy who I was supposed to talk to and didn't. Gonna go find him. James spotted a man in a field. Bent over, he appeared to be a farmer of some stripe, though his work seemed to become more industrious as they drew closer to him. Undoubtedly, he had seen them as well. Would you happen to know who lives in that house nearby? Well, I should. I lived half my life in it. Name's Max Feber. Are you certain? Are you funny in the head, lad? Of course I'm sure. How could I not be? Do you often make it a habit to go digging in graveyards? What do you mean? I mean, the three of us found a burial cloth, and we think you have something to do with all this evil that's going on around here. You've been desecrating graves, haven't you? You broke into my house. I'll tell the constable for this. If we were still living in town, I might feel threatened, but I rather imagine you've already managed to scare him off. Now talk, or I'm going to have a cozy little chat with a friend of mine named Nivik, Prince Arutha's tax collector. Nice fellow. I think the two of you will get along marvelously. One grave only. I dug it up. I don't remember the fellow's name now, but he used to own the Six Toe Tavern before Naya took over the shop. I thought that maybe I could scare her into moving out and selling to me, but she's too darn stubborn. What did you do with the corpse? No corpse about him. He was down to his skeleton. I tried to rebury him, but I never found one of his hands. It's bound to be near the graveyard. I think I may have dropped it when I was near old Herschel's house. What else? That's it. That's all I know, honest. Dug him up and then I reburied him. We'll need to find that hand then and bury it. No thanks to you. Goodbye, sir. And I would advise that you stay away from the Six Toe Tavern from now on. I doubt you would be warmly greeted. Nice fella. So, before we get further into it, I did do a few things while I was off camera. Hey, Defender. Yep, more Krondor. My week's been going pretty good so far. I've only worked one day out of it because today was my day off. I have to work this Saturday, and that's kind of how it works. You work one Saturday a month, and you get one day during that week off. So that was my day today. Uh, I actually spent a good chunk of it playing Krondor, doing a lot of side stuff. I back went back to Lamut and saw Sumani, taught me some sword stuff. And then I went back to Sarth and boosted Owen's spellcasting ability, so it's now at 83%. I also bought a loot and got myself to a nice round 69 for barding. It's a pretty nice number if you know what I mean. And then let's see. Then I went to High Castle and met the Baron, killed some goblins for him, and got 200 bucks. I kind of didn't really want to do that on stream because, you know, in order to not kill all of the enemies up in this area, which is where we're going to be going tonight, I had to go all the way around here. So it took me like an hour. But I got the money. Now I have 1,400 gold. And a fancy pokey sword. And some powder bags. And yeah. I did actually. That's one thing I always forget to do, is go to the temples, and then I'm just walking. But I did go to all the temples I could find anyway. So next time I need to go back and forth, it shouldn't take quite as long. Just lots of money, I guess. Anyway. How's your week been going so far? Wait a minute. I go in the wrong direction. Yep, I'm going the wrong direction. It's way too easy to get turned around in this game. Especially if you bump into something while you're trying to walk along the path, and then you get spun around and you don't realize. Yeah, regular work days sometimes are pretty nice. Better than, you know, the crazy work days that you just want to leave. Nothing in the hole. No, I don't want to give you money. I also killed these guys, so that'll make my life a lot easier. Because they go down in one hit. Let's blast them. God, that's fun. You were miles away, James. Wow. Zap him. I'll poke him. And we're good. Okay. Back to Layton. Oop. Cool. Oop. Might as well have a nap. I don't need to do that. And there we go. Yeah, I did find a couple of spells. I got the Fetters of Rhyme spell today, so that'll be pretty handy. And in the next chapter, I should be able to get another good one. But that's basically the whole reason why I'm doing this quest in the first place, is because I want the sword that Naya gives you at the end. So, luckily we're almost done it. Men were laughing. That sounds like quite a funny story, James said. Would you care to repeat it? The man looked about nervously. No, Please, said James, with as warm a smile as he could muster, understanding why the man might be nervous. Well, okay. I was just telling the fellows about old Glover. Paid 300 sovereigns for a dead man's hand. Thought it was a glory hand or something like that. Figured he could sell it for big money, I guess. James thanked the man for his information and his time. There we go. That's what I was trying to do last time, and it didn't work. And... Ooh, someone's angry. The man at the door flew into a rage. You! He shouted, pointing at James. That hand you sold me was totally worthless. It wasn't a glory hand at all. James took a step back. I'm afraid you have mistaken me for someone else. I really have no idea what you're talking about. But did you say something about a hand? We'll buy it back from you. I tossed that worthless thing into the dried-up well at Lyton. 150 sovereigns. That's how much I paid for it. You telling me you'll give me my money back if I retrieve it for you? Yep, I need it. James nodded. The man looked at them suspiciously, threatened to have them strung up if they weren't around when we returned, and then left. Several hours later, he returned with a small burlap bag. Placing it on the table with a thunk, he turned to James. Here's your hand. Now give me back my gold. I didn't take your gold, so let's call this a sale, shall we? Call it whatever you like. Where's my bloody money? The man bellowed. James retrieved the money from his pouch and dropped it on the table. The man scooped it up greedily and demanded they stay until he had a chance to count it all. Okay. Now we have a hand. Delightful. Sounds good. Good luck with the housework. I know that's never my favorite part about being a person living on my own. Everything has to be done by me. So, I got the hand. And now I just gotta go back. And, well, first I need an app. There we go. And now I gotta go rebury this hand. Where the hell's the graveyard? There it is. Nope. Don't need to dig up latent dink. Jared. There he is. Hey Jared, we found your hand. The tip of Gorath's shovel made a wooden clunk. Using his hands to push away the soft, unpacked earth, he wiped perspiration from his forehead with the back of his sleeve, and stepped out of the hole he had just created. He motioned for someone to bring him the hand as he carefully pried open the pine lid of the decaying box. Then, without looking inside, he dropped the hand and quickly closed the lid, part of it crumbling in his fingers. Rest in peace now, Jared, whispered Owen. Come on, let's fill in the grave and get out of here. Okay. So that's good. Oh. Hey. That's handy. There we go. Oh. Not allowed to drink booze until noon. Can I bard? Nope. Okay. Let's talk to Naya. I don't know how you've done it, But bless you, I've not heard a knock or a bump coming from my shop for hours. First time in weeks. After I do a little dusting, I should be able to reopen it for business. And seeing that you've held up your end of the bargain, I'll hold up mine. As requested, you can have the gallon grief maker I told you about. Thank you again, and please come by the shop across the street any time. I promise I'll give the best bargains you'll find. Thank you, fine lady. It was our pleasure to serve you. Oop, what did I do? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Nice. What do you do? 2942. Give you to Gorath. And then I'll give you to him. Just because I like giving Gorath the best weapons. He's a lot more of a cool guy than James is. Oh. Can I? Nope. Nope. There we go. That saved up some room, I guess. Well, now let's check out her shop. James waited by the door. Less than a minute later, Naya hurried over from the Six Toe, with a large set of keys jangling on a brass ring in her hand. I'll have that door open for you in a jiffy, she said as she began to search for the proper key. Ah, here we go. She inserted the key into the lock, jiggled it a few times until it clicked, then she pushed open the door. Nice. Do you have anything that I might want? Not really. Okay. Quest completed. Finally. Now, oh, these guys again. I'm not paying you the gold. I already told you that. You're just gonna die again. You hit your own buddy. Oop. Forgot who I was playing as. You. Okay, these archers have got to go. What? Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Yeah, you can heal too. Just whack them. Poke them. Got them. Again. Yeah. Go to the inn just because I'm here. You get much better healing at the inn than you do out on the road. Kind of makes sense. Get a nice warm bed to sleep in rather than, you know, a pillow made of rocks. I know I'd rather sleep in an inn. Okay, so now got nothing else to really do. except go up to Romney. Hey, there's a hole. Anything in the hole? Oh. Oop, spoiled food. Decent food. Who's got 4? No. You can share. I'll leave the spoiled food in the hole. Food and lodging. It's dark again. Where am I now? Sloop. So if you're wondering why there's no enemies anymore, it's because I did kinda sorta make my way up here. Just to get a lay of the land. Also, I got an item. But yeah. Basically, I cleared the way so that this is nice and quick. And here we are in Romney. First, I'm gonna make it not dark. The way ahead was blocked. From among the men who were guarding the bridge, a man stepped forward to confront them. The city of Romney is sealed at the moment to all but the citizens and those who are members of the Glazers Guild. Do you have one of our seals? I actually do. I got it last time. I found it in Moxie Flipper's, whatever his name is, barn. Yes, why is a guild in charge of the city? The constabulary were all killed in the uprising by the River Pullers Guild, and no one else in any authority was left alive to administrate. When I was approached to take command, I decided that I would use my men in the guild to help maintain order until such a time the Duke was able to arrive from his estates. Makes some sort of sense. Where can we find the king's men from Bastira? They'll be holding up in the Black Sheep Tavern for a celebration of some kind. I believe I heard one of them say they found something they were looking for. I'm not sure what it's all about. I think that may mean good news for us as well. Good night, Reeve. We're on into Romney. Okay. Let's go. I do like the music in Romney. Okay, let's go check out the tavern. Oh. You guys good? You just laying down, right? That's definitely not a sword in your back. Huh. Well, shit. Someone beat us to the party. Even as they threw the door open, James bit back the impulse to vomit. Kingdom soldiers lay scattered about the room, each lying in his own coagulating pool of blood. Nowhere did there appear to be anyone untouched by murderous hands. Chapter 3. The Spyglass and the Spider. The coppery smell of burning flesh filled the air. Embers leapt from the funeral pyre into the growing dusk, joined the winking points of light that would later become a blaze of crystalline stars. Around the flames, villagers gathered in dark clots, their faces overwritten with blank, unreadable expressions. Like moths to a candle, they drifted near and mourned, and thought and sniffed. They had come to watch the flames feed. Gorath's fathomless green eyes nictitated in the firelight as he turned and gazed at Owen, who flinched uncomfortably at his side. There can be no uneasier sleep than a warrior murdered in his cups, Gorath said, his voice only slightly louder than the spitting hiss of a scorched bone. They nipped at the heels of the Nighthawks, be certain of that. So you think we're getting close? Owen asked. Gorath began to speak, but his words congealed on his lips as his eyes looked with the burning gaze of Senior James. I have had it with your mysterious half-answers, Moradel. Now, for the sake of your continued good health, I want to hear some explanations fast. Why you were here in Romney a 6 month before you made your appearance at the Inklindell Pass. Smack. The only explanation, Senior, is that you are mistaken. I have never been south of the Inklindell. Till now. While we carried the dead from the Black Sheep Tavern, a tavern boy informed me that a man answering to your description called on 3 unwholesomes dressed in black, all of whom wore the trademark silver rings of the Nighthawks. He heard them refer to the Moradel as Gorath. It seems that this Moradel paid a sizable sum of money to those Nighthawks before departing, enough perhaps to arrange the death of a company of the king's soldiers. He may well have paid a king's death, but I know nothing of it. I realize it may impress little upon you, but Gorath is a passing common name in the Northlands, and oft as not your kingdom fellow folk have mistaken me for an elf. The barkeeper was likely deceived by enemies of mine. If I had cause to mislead you or your prince, I would have found a far less convoluted means of confusing the royal sanity. Look elsewhere for your enemies, James. While we may not be friends, I mean you no harm. I shall look where I wish until you are no longer my responsibility. We may not be able to strike at the Nighthawk stronghold, but if we can locate it, we may still be able to get inside and find the information Prince Arutha needs. The Nighthawks will shun Romney for a time. However bold they may be in their murderous nights, they flee when daylight breaks. No one walks without leaving footprints, and these men are no different. However skilled they may be at assassination, they have never been any good at covering their tracks. Let me see those things you found in the tavern. They are here. Good. Those are our footprints. Of all the items we found on the dead company, both those items seem conspicuously out of place, and may be related in some way to our elusive murderers. We begin our hunt for the Nighthawks with a spider and a spyglass. Well, all right then. That's a nice brace. Hell yeah. So if you're wondering why prices have all of a sudden skyrocketed, it's because of the guild war that's going on in Romney, which we could solve, but it takes too long, and I don't really feel like doing that. So I'm just gonna sell my stuff for a lot of money. Look at that. How much? What about you? So, the things that we got are actually kind of handy. So, we got a silver spider, which, if you touch the silver spider to your sword, or arrows or anything like that, it makes them poisonous, which is pretty handy. Hell yeah. And then we also got a spyglass, which is basically like the Eyes of Iship spell, in which you can basically spot where all the treasure chests and holes and houses and whatever else you're looking for is. You can see them on the map. Except I think it has a lot better range than the spell, so that's pretty handy. But there was a murder here, but I'm just gonna play the loot for you guys. It sounds a lot better than it did last time, I will say that. One day I'd like to see if I can figure out how to play that on guitar. I feel like that would be kind of cool. Now let's talk to the boy. Jason. Are you going to take me away? Why should we want to do that? Because when I broke things, Master always told me that someone would come and take me away someplace bad and someplace dark where they would never feed me and I'll never see the light of day. I knew when all those people got killed in here that someone would come for me and take me to the bad place. Jeepers. You don't have anything to be afraid of, Jason. You didn't kill those men. It's not your fault. Master says anybody that stays under our roof is our responsibility. And I was here when they were killed. That means it was my fault. Then you saw the murders? No, but they came in and told me to leave and they'd hurt me real bad. They didn't tell me what they were going to do. What did the men who told you to leave look like? They were big and they had birds on their chests, like eagles. And they smelled funny, like sometimes the sailors from Kesh smell like flowers. Hawks on their chest. Then that at least confirms the Nighthawk's involvement. Do you know anything about a spider made of silver or a brass spyglass that one of the men that were killed might have carried? It's very important. Think hard. I don't know anything about the spider, but I remember that one of the king's men had a brass tube with little pieces of glass at the ends of it, and I could see things that were far away with it. He said that he and one of the other men had brought it back from Silden. Did he say where in Silden he got it? No, just in Silden. Can you think of anything else? Did anyone else come into the Black Sheep before the murderers? A carrying man brought in some wine from the upside-down keg for the soldiers. Told me it was sent special, but besides that, I can't think of anything. Thanks, Jason. We may be back later to ask you some more questions, so don't go anywhere. Can you heard anything more about the murders? Only that my master says that it will be bad for business and we have to bump bunnies to bring the people back in. Bump bunnies? That's a new expression for the books. Well, we are here, and I suppose we ought to do what we can for the locals. Have anything to eat around here? Nothing fresh, but we have standard rations if you have the money. We'll take some. We have quite a bit of traveling to do. I'll get them out of the back. Jesus. That's a lot of money. I mean, I can afford it, but... Sure. Uh, yeah, I think that's... Oh, what's this? Oh, right. I don't need to talk to you. Huh. So, if I use this, you can see, I think that was a house over there. So that's kind of handy. Owen was whistling, suddenly aware his traveling companion had grown irrepressibly cheerful over the last few miles. Gorath turned and favored the squire with an inquisitive stare. "Why the sudden lift in your spirits?" "Unless I'm mistaken, we're headed towards my Uncle Corvallis's estate in Cavil Keep, assuming we keep heading this way. We are going that direction, aren't we?" "Yep." Owen talked as they traveled. Pointing out familiar geographical features, he relayed a good deal of history about the region's history. That's a weird sentence. As they attempted to ford a small river. Soon they found themselves back upon a major road. And right away there's Nighthawks. Fantastic. Okay. I guess I will fight them. That's what we do here, I guess. James charged forward. Oh, good. I got them. Okay. And you immediately miss. Let's use Fetters of Rhyme to shoot some ice at them. And that guy's frozen. Zap that guy. Rude. Zap him again. Got him. Oh. That wasn't what I wanted to do at all. So, hopefully these guys aren't gonna come back. Whew. That wasn't so bad. Hey, you got a key. Yeah. Nope, that's the same guy. Food. Poisoned. Don't want your poison food. You can keep it. I don't need that stuff anymore. Could sell this, I suppose. Now, always with the armor and weapons maintenance. That is one of the things that is kind of annoying about this game, is the constant upkeep on your stuff. But as long as you remember to do it, it should be alright. So where the hell am I? Okay. And there's no goodies. Okay. Now where am I? Oh. Okay. We're in Prank's Stone. So, I learned the hard way. Don't touch this stone. If you touch it, you'll lose, pretty sure, all of your money and I think, also all of your keys. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't remember. But either way, we're not gonna touch this weird rock. We're just gonna carry on our way. Maybe play some guitar, since we have such a high barding skill now. Nobody's kicking us out anymore. The man was in a talkative mood, taking drinks from an overly large cup of ale. Between tales about his mercenaries, he wandered eventually into a discourse about how much he hated the followers of the god Kahuli. "Why do you dislike them so much?" James asked. Raising a single eyebrow at that, the man shook his head. "Those damn Kahuli priests in the temple up at Kentingrush aren't natural, I tell you. What pleasures a man's got, they want him to give up, all tied up in those damnable codes of piety. What in Tith's name does the mortification of the flesh mean anyway? But some sorry sod's got to starve himself down to tooth and bone, and give up wenching and drinking. Not natural at all, if you ask me." Good to know. Who are you? Okay, bye. Yeah. Yep, we're not gonna touch the bad stone. Yeah. Yeah, I might actually go down and find a book. He's kind of a neat fellow. Yeah, after this we'll go down and talk to him. Don't know if they have anything here that I want, but doesn't hurt to look. How many of these do I have? I got enough. Yeah. For the sake of the story, let's go down and see our friend. A book. What? Uh-oh. Hey, didn't see you guys there. On account of I was staring at the map. But these guys shouldn't take me too long to get rid of. Hey, rude. Don't walk away when I'm talking to you. Got him. Then we're gonna get him. And we'll get to know. Yeah. I think there's been a couple of times that I decided to help with the guild war, and then I discovered that the prices are garbage after that, so I don't help with the guild war anymore. It's much better to just let them keep fighting and then, you know, get lots of cool prices. Hey, gold. Those my crossbows. They're fine. That was the wrong thing to click. There we go. And I don't think anybody actually got hit. Better save. What's this? Nope. Oop. More of these guys. Just friggin' lovely. Poke him in the back. Good, I want to try and take care of them all as fast as I can. Don't want no zombos coming back. Wait. Got him. Food. Of course it's poisoned. You guys just don't eat. One torch. More gold. At least they got lots of gold. That's always handy. I can always use more gold. Nope. How about you use your clerical oilcloths? I always have a bad habit of collecting all of these weapon modifiers and then never using them. So I'm gonna see if I can remember that I have them this time. Uh-oh. Shit. Ow. Not ghosts. God, I hate these guys. I don't remember. Can I zap them? Yeah, it works. Right on. Poke them. There we go. Yeah. I guess they're not that hard. It's just, when you're fighting a lot of them, they can be kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah. Yeah. I know there's a lot of enemies that it doesn't work on. I always thought that it didn't work on them. It might be the Rusalki that it doesn't work on, but apparently it works on the shades, so I'm happy with that. Oop, I'm going the wrong way again. Oop, did I just see? No. Oh, maybe I did. I definitely saw these guys. Oh. Got him. And your food's spoiled. Yeah. He's gotten a little better at fighting once I went to see Sumani. Gorath is still the tank, of course. He's easily my favorite character because he just wipes the floor with everybody all the time. James is okay. I do kind of prefer Locklear to James, though. I think he's a better fighter. Although, James's lockpicking skill is definitely a handy thing to have. I don't need food and lodging. Nope. I'm going to avoid those guys. I don't want to deal with the Rusalki right now. Where is a book? Do you remember? I don't. Oh, of course, I just ran into them anyway. There we go. Run away. To the west. Oop. There we go. Good call. He's one of the NPCs that I just kind of wander around looking for until I find them again. The sun shines favorably on you, traveler. I am a book of Sildon, master of locks, son of Khadiji, and student of Califad, master among masters of locks. Save your breath. I haven't the need for a locksmith at the moment. I need information about a company of kingdom soldiers that may have visited Sildon recently. Many soldiers visit Sildon. Some come from the boats that dock there. Some come from Lighton or places further away. What would distinguish the men you seek from any other men? If you noticed them at all, they should have seemed conspicuously inconspicuous. They would have drank little and paid whatever shopkeepers asked, no matter how outrageous the price. They would have avoided fighting unless it was forced upon them, and it would have been very evident they were skilled fighters. I know of these men. They came to Sildon to hire assassins, but Abuk told them they do not need assassins. There goes the music again. Hire Nighthawks? No, these men would have been looking for the Nighthawks, but they didn't wish to hire them. If anything, they wanted to trick them into the open. They asked Abuk to hire assassins, but I told them about my spider, and they did not wish to hire assassins anymore. They bought the spider and went away to Romney. You sold them the silver spider. Why did they want to buy it? They did not tell Abuk, and I did not ask. I am only a master of locks, and the business of the king's men is their own. No one is accusing you of anything. Where did you get the silver spider from? Did you buy it from someone? A man of the Guild of Assassins learned where I keep my modest treasures and wished to open it. Having considerable skills, he opened its strange lock, but he was struck dead by the trap, which he had thoughtlessly triggered. When I found the silver spider on his person, I kept it until the day I sold it to the king's soldiers. They may have believed they could use it to track down the Nighthawks. Was there anything else on the dead Nighthawk that could have told you anything about him? He had a ticket for passage to Krondor on the Nightcrawler, a boat that sometimes harbors in Sildon. I had no need for it, so I threw it away. I think we may have all we need for now, Abuk, but please stay here. We may need to speak to you again. Right on. So now, I'm actually going to go into Sildon and maybe I'll talk to Joftaz. It smells like fish. That's fine. Hako's Kajanlo. I don't think this guy's got anything I need anymore. Meh. Oh, that was nice. What? Oops. Let's see what Joftaz has to say. As the keeper of a tavern, I imagine you get quite a bit of traffic through here. Lots of people wanting to buy or sell items that were, shall we say, indiscriminately acquired. Who would I speak to if my interests lay in that direction?
Any that walk the streets. Sildon is not known for its reputable patronage, as you no doubt have seen. Why would this interest you?
I need to find out about the possible purchase of 2 very special items that may have been picked up here in Sildon. I'm looking for whoever might have sold them.
If an item is sold in Sildon, then I am the only man that you should speak to. Any other transactions are done the Sildon way.
Very well, Joftaz. I need to find out what you may know about either a brass spyglass or a silver spider. I would be willing to pay in gold. You would be, but I wouldn't. I guess if I have to, I will.
You will pay, most undoubtedly, for that information. But I am not interested in your kingdom coins. If it were gold, I could come up with the sum I want myself. No, what I require is the assistance of a thief.
Why do you think I would be of any help?
I live in a city of thieves. I have spent my life knowing how to sense them, and I know how most assuredly that you have a thief's instincts. This is the bargain. I will tell you about the silver spiders that I sell on occasion, and you will find a bag of powder that was stolen by the crawler. It has most likely been taken to his house near here. The house is locked, and I suspect that the pouch will be hidden away in a chest or cabinet or such.
Any thief could do this for you. Why would we be especially qualified for this?
Because all the thieves in this place, they are all the hands and eyes of the crawler. To be working for me, that would be death for them.
Why? What is it that is in this powder bag?
I have made my offer. The information for the pouch. Do we have a deal?
I guess so. My bump of trouble is telling me that I shouldn't be agreeing to this, but you have a deal, Joftaz. I'll get your pouch. A straight exchange, the information for the item.
Consider it a deal, then. I will wait for you here, in the anchorhead, until you return with the item.
We will be back. Do not leave this place. Is it... Yeah, it's this house. Gorath watched the docks. Behind him, James stood with his ear pressed against the door of the house, listened for the stirring of the crawler or his men, but heard only the thumping of his own heart. The door was locked, and as he reached inside his pack to search for his keys and picklocks, he saw a very small, very straight crack in the trim beside the door. Smiling at the old mocker's trick, he pressed his thumb against the trim and pushed down. The wood slid away, revealing a small brass key. Removing it from its hiding place, he jammed it into the brass lock, whispering his thanks to the old mocker who had first taught him the trick. Within, the house was dim, but not so dark that James couldn't navigate by instinct alone. Creeping, he investigated the whole of the 3-room house, noting anything that looked out of the ordinary. Near the fireplace, he discovered something that appeared to be a chest, but dismissed it as suspect, its location tagging it as a trap for less clever thieves. On the far wall, he eyed a row of 5 colorfully lacquered pots, each spilling over with a tangle of violet-colored tondil horns. Many times in Krondor he had heard the Princess Anita lamenting over the fact the flowers were nearly impossible to grow in the salty soil of the coastal regions and required nearly constant sunlight. Located as they were at the rear of the house, however, they would undoubtedly receive very little light at all. Smiling, he upturned each of the pots until, at last, he discovered the hidden powder bag and made a mental note to thank the princess for her relentless efforts to civilize him. Clutching his vine triumphantly, he hurried outside to rejoin his very nervous-looking traveling companions. Jimmy the Hand was still alive and well. Oh, yeah. Good call. Hey, I got better at guitar playing. 'Cause it's... yeah. It's always a handy thing to have anyway. Never know when someone's gonna be a dink and get too close to you, you know? Yeah, I don't even remember where I got all of it. I think I've only used it a couple times, so that kind of helps too.
So, the Honorable Senior from Krondor returns. Have you brought along the pouch I asked you for?
Yep. It seems that today Banath has smiled on the both of us. I have what you want, and you apparently know what I need to know. The pouch in exchange for the story. That was the deal. I want to hear a story about a silver spider.
Yes, Banath has gifted you most certainly. I wouldn't have thought anyone wily enough to defeat the crawler, but if the happy prankster has given you the knack, then I'll happily help you as best I can. Now, the silver spider is a rare item, so I can remember when I get one, and am most assuredly pleased when I can turn a profit from one. They are heartily sought here in the kingdom. It's been several months since last I sold one.
Can you describe the last man who bought one?
Oh, I can describe him. Stoop-backed, crass, hard bartering fellow. He was wearing a black cloak and a bird. An eagle was blazed across his chest.
You mean a hawk? A golden hawk?
I have lived the greater part of my days here in Sildon. It might have been a hawk, or it could have been a gull. All I know is that I lost a great deal that day between he and the trader named a Book, who brought in some sailor's trinkets he appropriated from Prank's stone. As for the man with the bird on his chest, the last I heard of him, he was asking to purchase a ticket on a ship called the Mocker's Folly, bound for Krondor.
A nighthawk bound for Krondor. Where could I find the ship's captain?
Krondor, I suspect, though I don't see why that would be important to you.
I will decide what is important or unimportant. Now, what about the brass spyglass? Would you know anything about that?
As I told you before, sailors' trinkets are common here in Sildon. If it is a special glass you covet, I would urge you to seek out the trader Abok. I could hope only to make 5, perhaps 10 gold sovereigns from such an item, so I decided they were not really worth my time bothering with them.
You may find that bothering with silver spiders has cost you more than imagined, Joftaz. If I find that any of the prince's family have died of poisoning when I return there, you'll have a great deal more to worry about than turning a profit. Huh. Well then, it's the middle of the night. And where'd my shit go? There it is. Yeah. Take your funny powder back. Hey. Hold on. Oh. Well, that's boring. Gotta get around the Rusalki, because I don't like fighting them. Ah! Quit bouncing off of shit. Jeepers. Oop. Yeah, why not? There we go.
A book, Master of Locks, at your service. How may I be of assistance?
It appears that you are master of more than locks. What do you know of the prank stone north of Romney?
A tongue wags loose in Silden. I see my enterprises may be silenced.
I am interested only in a brass spyglass that you sold to Joftaz in Silden. Tell me about it, and I will choose to forget about any other thefts you may have participated in. How did you come by it?
1 year and 20 ago, I bought a box in Silden from a trader. He told me it would bring me great fortune, but I wished only for a strong chest to hold my things, and I told him that he would be a fool to sell such box. We haggled, and at last I purchased it for 10 sovereigns, a price that the seller seemed positively glad to receive. I too was pleased with the exchange, but began to wonder at the nature of what I had purchased. The chest was possessed of Kajunlo.
Oh, Kajunlo, what does that mean?
It was box of trickery, of magic. Objects would appear in the box, things that I had not placed there. Then one day I met a man from Romney, and he told me of the true nature of my chest. When things were lost at a certain place, they came to my box, and we could sell those items. We decided, of course, that we would never tell each other more about ourselves, so our business would be safe, should one of us fall into harm.
And you two would split the profits of whatever appeared in the box. I take it that the brass spyglass was one of the items he arranged for you to find.
It was one of many things.
The day you got the spyglass, did anything else appear in your box?
A few things. I keep the things whose value I do not know, so those items which arrived with the spyglass are still there as well. I believe there was a note whose contents I do not remember.
Where was the box? Is it close by? I think he can, yeah. If we get the option to ask, I should probably do that. I may have actually already talked to him before, now that I think about it. I think I did run into him last stream, but I don't remember. I guess we'll have to see what happens.
It lies behind a mountain with 2 other boxes near Silden, and is locked with a special lock. You will have to spell out Thorn so that it may be opened. If you do not understand of what I speak, you shall when you find the box.
Thorn, we will remember your kindness. Thank you. Yeah, I think we ran into him somewhere else before last stream, and I got him to teach me some stuff. Yeah, I definitely did. I do remember now. I don't know if he teaches in this area, though. Is this... It still must fear the sun. Oop. That one's never too bad. It appears I've gotten it already, though. Where is, is a book's chest? Nope, nope. Oh, maybe. Sword. Don't need those. Yeah, not here. He wasn't particularly helpful when he said it was behind a mountain. Closer to Zeldin. Oh, okay. Oh, he did say something about that. I'm not good at listening to directions from NPCs. Hey, there's a mountain. Ah, bet you it's right there. See if I can get these all in a nice little line here. There we go. Today he is there to trip you up, and he will torture you tomorrow. Yet he is also there to ease the pain when you are lost in grief and sorrow. Don't we know it? This one used to give me a lot of trouble. But now, it's pretty easy. Death to our enemies. No living adversary shall escape the new king of these isles. He will lead us to glory and provide new lands for our people. This is one of those chests where you kind of have to think about it. Because it doesn't really make sense if you're not following along with the storyline. Yeah, it definitely was. That was a long time ago, though. And this should be... yeah. He got it in the woods and brought it home in his hand because he couldn't find it. The more he looked for it, the more he felt it. When he finally found it, he threw it away. I remember I once told this riddle to, I think it was a coworker, and they couldn't get it. But when I finally told them what the answer was, they were all like, whoa, that makes total sense. And yeah, I like using the Mordell riddles to stump people. There's been a couple that people have been able to guess, but not a lot. Given to Isunatus of Caval Keep the quantity of 500 rubies and 200 golden sovereigns, totaling a value not in excess of 20,200 sovereigns. Wow. Um, let's see if what's his face has Anything else to say? Let's buy some food real quick. Just kidding. All you have is spoiled fish. This chapter was always difficult for me as a kid. Chapter 1 and 2 with clear goals, but this requires an investigation. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things, especially because, it doesn't have a quest journal in this game or anything like that. You can wander for hours, and if you're not connecting the dots, then you could be in a lot of trouble. So I often end up writing myself little notes here and there. Just, oop, okay, bye. Just so that I remember, especially if, I play it one day and then a week goes by and I don't play it again. I come back and I'm like, what the hell was I doing? You know? But yeah, this was always kind of my least favorite chapter, just in terms of how kind of convoluted it is. It's not really hard if you know what to do, but if you don't do everything in the exact order, you can be kind of screwed. Yeah, that's true. Where am I now? Oh, right, sloop. Krondor is such a far away, though. Fuck. Oh, there we go. Oh. Duh. Is there anything unusual about the order? I'll say, the man replied. Moving to a small bin, he pulled out a handful of a substance that looked like tobacco, letting it sift between his fingers back into the bin. He asked that I added this to the kegs, called black tarweed. A poison? James asked. No, it's a cheat used by the less scrupulous tavern keepers. Handful of this dissolved in your ale, and whoever drinks it will think they're dying of thirst. Gets worse the more you drink. Korath spat. It is often done in the north, he said. A man will drink until he is no longer capable, either for lack of gold or wit. And an excellent way to make certain that someone is incapable of fighting you back, James said with disgust. The Nighthawks aren't what they used to be. Alarmed, the brewmaster seemed to pale. Nighthawks? What have they to do with this? Omitting most of the smaller details, James told what they had already learned of the murder. Horrified, the man shook his head. I assure you, this has never once happened in association with the keg. If you would like, I will get you something to drink. I can guarantee that it has not been laced with the black tarweed. Eh. I guess. Give everybody a little bit of food. There we go. Just 'cause I was here. Well, I think we will go north. Don't trust it. What am I not trusting? By the way, hey, Ambi Pants. Oop, no one's whistling again. Because I'm going back to Cavil Keep. He likes this place. We're going to go see his uncle. Oh, yeah. I'll eat it and then see what happens. Rations. These are healthy rations. How's your week going so far, Emmy? Still going the right way? Yep. Yeah, I feel that. I had the day off today, so I mostly spent it playing this game. And I got lots of stuff done. Yeah. My apartment is actually cold enough that I am wearing a sweater. Which is nice. So when it's really hot out, I can just come inside and get nice and cool. Oh, I already did that. But yeah, I don't think I'd be able to live in a place where the AC was not on, like, all the time. I need my air conditioning really badly. Let's fight some more ninjas. That was close. Let's blast them. You missed. Oops. That time I missed. Okay, bye. Nice hit. Poke him. Jab him in the ribs. There we go. Got him. And of course they don't really have anything good on them. They got a key. That's handy. Ting tang, walla walla bing bang. Oh yeah. I used up your thing. Nice. Now go to sleep. Some more sleep. And where are we going now? Let's go that way. Before... Oop. I better be watching where I'm going. And that includes using the telescope. Hey, there's a temple. Let's go talk to Jesus. Oop. Oh, hi. They were stopped by two men. You will go no further, one of the men commanded. Before any shall enter the temple of Banath, they must strip off all metals. Under whose authority do you make these demands? We are representatives of Prince Arutha, and order you to let us pass. The men seemed a bit taken aback by this news, but as they departed they continued to speak of their levy. Metal is base and offensive to our God. He who enters this temple with metal on his person shall be struck dead. From the other side of the temple, almost out of earshot, James heard, "By the will of Banath." Funny thing, Banath is the god of thieves, I believe. So if you take off your stuff, these guys make away with all your shit. So we're just gonna ignore them and walk past them. See, they're harmless. There we go in, and we look at the teleporty wall, and we can teleport. No, that's actually pretty handy. Now I can go to Krondor. Teleport. There we go. I'm glad I found that temple. Otherwise, that would have been a really long walk that I probably just wouldn't have done. So we'll head south for a bit. And which way? This way. Yeah. Nice. They finally like my guitar playing. Let's talk to the guy we tried to give alcohol poisoning to last time. Just kidding, apparently. Whoa. That was weird. Why does he keep disappearing? Apparently he doesn't want to talk to me, so I get it. We tried to give him alcohol poisoning last time. Let's go down into the sewers. We'll go talk to the child. Hey, it's the sewer boy, and he looks like Peter Pan. You'll have to be on about your business elsewhere, blokes. I'm not to let so much as a gnat past me tonight, or any night soon, or for any amount of money. The Thieves' Highway is closed. Wait, what? Not even for a tax? Something fairly serious must have happened down here. If you're any friend of the Mockers, you'll understand what I mean when I tell you it's a matter of family business. Meeting at Mocker's Rest. The upright man. You haven't heard it from my lips. I'm just a night watch, and a stupid one at that. I understand. Who do you think was responsible? Someone has clapped hands on you a few months back. Whoever it was must have had a hand on the inside. The upright man was poisoned. And the rest, they're calling him the Crawler. The Crawler. Still don't know what exactly he hopes to gain. We'd never submit to him after all he's done to us. Sooner see him dead than in charge of the things. Okay. Let's ask him about this. I've heard there's a portcullis down here that none of the Mockers can open. Can't pick it, can't break the lock. Is it true? Might be. Might be pigs can fly, who's to say? Why, you interested? You're no son of the sewers. How did you hear about it anyways? Let's just say I'm a friend of the family. I was just wondering if anyone ever found a key for it. Isn't no key I know of. Least not one a body snitched about. If you want my opinion, there's nobody what can get the eternity gate open. Impossible. You know. We spoke to Lyle Rigger, and he told me to tell you that he's confirmed the upright man's suspicions, but he says that the Crawler is no Jocko Radburn. That, at least, is relief. Leastways, we know where they're coming from for sure now. Did he tell you anything else? He said something about a reward. I'll give you the seal he asked for. Of course, if you ask me, it's a piddling price for it. Myself, I don't think I would have asked for anything less than a shiner, and a good quality one than that. Nice. How many keys you have on your ring? Good thief don't need 'em. I knows when somebody left a shutter on the spring or a door off the latch. Got a keen eye. I'm all the better without having to depend on them as I see it. I'm probably the best thief what the upright man's ever seen, and I know I'm already the quietest. Is that so? How interesting. Well, would you know how to get a hold of Yellow Bill? Who's Yellow Bill? Perhaps he could sell us a few keys. Bill? What? You talking about old Bill? He got done down not more than a month ago by the rogues sent by the crawler. Pity. He was a good man in his own way. Who else do we get keys from? I have a key. I thought you said good thieves don't need 'em. I don't need it. I just happen to have one at the moment. Found it near the dead body of someone dressed like a death gilder. He was an ugly bloke, but then again, with half his head smashed in. Spare me the details, please. How much you want for the Nighthawk key? It's yours for nothing. I don't like carrying it about, and I don't want to bring bad luck off it on myself. Take it. Don't ever say Lim never get done nothing for you. Stealth. Oh. You say you're the quietest thief in Krondor. Prove it. Why should I? We have some business that may require great stealth on our part, and some of us could use instruction. Would you be willing to teach us what you know? For the right price. I'll steal the crown off the prince's head, and it'll be half a day before he even knows it's gone. Sounds interesting. How about 120 sovereigns? That sound reasonable to you? Not really, but I guess so. The thief nodded. Dropping to a crouch, he pointed down the length of the tunnel and instructed Owen to walk away and then return. Common problem. You're coming down too much on your heels, Lim said, watching as his pupil reappeared from the darkness, grabbing Owen's foot. He pivoted it so that it rocked from side to side rather than rear to front. Imagine your feet's like waves. You have to let 'em roll. Down on the outside, then roll on the center. Now go down and back. We'll keep this up till you have it. After a few more trials, Owen began to catch on to the technique. Astonishing how much of a difference it makes. I could barely hear myself. That's it then, Lim said with a smile, taking his fee. I've got to get back to me guard duty. We can still chat a bit if you like. Yeah. Makes it kind of difficult doing accents and also reading what's going on when you're not entirely sure who's talking. Especially when the accent that I'm doing is nothing like my actual voice. I just decided to give that kid that accent because it's kind of fun. Let's talk about the upright man. Are you certain the upright man's dead? So the Nightmaster says. The picture really helps. He used to have an amulet that he kept for good luck. Does anybody know what became of it? Need a bit of extra good luck, eh? But who doesn't? So happens I got the amulet. The Nightmaster slipped it to me after I saved his behind from a pair of the crawler's toughs. He didn't think it was worth too much, but I thought I knew different. 300 sovereigns and it's yours. How's that strike you? I already have what he's trying to sell me for 300 gold, so I'm not gonna buy it. I mean, they do stack, but I don't really care. It strikes me badly. No deal. Your loss, Lord. It's a fine piece if ever I've laid two eyes on anything, but a body's always got the right to say no, eh? That's what the great freedom is all about, isn't it? So, I've been watching a YouTube channel called Beard Meets Food. Basically, he's a food eating championship guy. You know, like hot dog eating contests and shit like that. But he's from Leeds in Great Britain. So him and his wife that's kind of the accent that they have. So I've been kind of modeling Lim's accent after the way they talk. I think it kind of works, though. Have you taken anything off the men who are posing as mockers? They're not much for carrying treasure, but yeah, I found a few nice bits. Tumbled a corpse I found near the sea gate just this morning. If the price is right, I might be interested in buying the booty from you. Booty. That's so. Well then, my price is 100 gold. 100 gold? You said they didn't carry anything of value. Seems it's of value to you, and I say it's worth 100 sovereigns, if it's worth a pence. Deal? I'll give you 100, sure. It's robbery, but we'll take it. Good then. I'll get me satchel for you. That's everything. We need to be moving on now, Lim. Thank you for your help. Such help as it was, but you're welcome to it. G'day, lords. And to you. Watch that the crawler's men don't do you in as well. Yeah, right on. So what did he give me? I have no idea. Well, I've got 2 of these. I don't actually think I'd need them anymore. So, yeah. Gonna turn around and get out of here. Get out of the smelly sewers. Hold on. James. Signor James, at your disposal, lady. I'm sorry if I have interrupted you. No, no. Actually, I'm quite pleased to have you here, James. Things around the palace have become quite peculiar. Prince Arutha hasn't held court in weeks, and Pug has been locking himself up with Makala and our daughter Kamina, discussing who knows what. And you feel left out of the circle, is that it? I suppose I have been privileged, spoilt even, in the past because he has entrusted me with whatever he was thinking. He's shown me things that I could never have imagined, and yet now he's hiding something from me. At some level, I'm almost inclined to think that something is frightening him. Frightening Pug? Gods, I don't like the sound of that. May I speak to him? I wish you could, but he has gone to our academy at Stardark. I don't know when he plans to return. To make matters worse, when I went to see Prince Arutha, he sent word that he couldn't speak to me because he was busy with matters of state. That's not at all like him. No, it isn't. But I have a few suspicions about what this may all mean. First, there are a few things I need to know. I am at your service. Message. What message? Oh, do you think you could deliver a message to Prince Arutha for me? I can certainly try. What is it? Just tell him that we haven't reached the Black Sheep Tavern in Romney as yet, but I will send word to him as soon as I can. That's a lie. We just came from there. I don't think that will be too much of a problem. I will see he gets it as soon as he returns. Oh, here we go. If Prince Arutha isn't here, then he must have already begun. Begun what? Sorry, I was thinking aloud. If you would, do you think you could tell him something for me? It's fairly important that he hear it. What is the message? Tell him that the party in Romney was cancelled because our host took ill, and now we're looking for his pet parakeet that flew away. Aw. Poor parakeet. As soon as we find the perch, we will meet him for tea at Mother's. I'm not sure I understand. But the prince will. I don't mean to be mysterious, but it's better that only we two know what is going on at the moment. That was code. There's a party at Mother's. James says, has anything happened in Krondor since I left, or has the whole town closed up of boredom waiting for me to return? Nothing unusual, really. The most exciting thing I've heard is that there appears to be an outbreak of Quetian fever in some of the ports, but they don't expect things will get too serious. The priests from the Temple of Sung have sent men down to the docks to deal with any cases that show up there, and the palace guards have been advised to keep a lookout for anyone who seems to be suffering from delusions. They think it will be contained in the areas north of Krondor. Yeah, right on. Last thing I'm gonna do yeah. The party is off. Goddamn DJs. Woo! More teleporting. If only it wasn't so expensive. I mean, I've still got 2,400 bucks, but it's still kind of annoying. And there we go. Now let's see if we can get a little bit back on track here. Uh-oh. Oh, God. So these guys are trolls. We're gonna see if we can fight them. They're pretty tough, though. I don't know if we'll be able to do it. If we can't, I do have a secret weapon. Well, we're not going to be able to fight them if you guys keep missing. Just going to keep shooting fireballs at them, I guess. Oof. Take a rest, Owen. Take another rest. And smack him. Come on, you. Poke him. Okay, let's see if I can electrocute these guys. Nope, apparently not. Oh, got him. Hey, get back here, you. You. You were able to go that way. What the hell? Get him. Finally. There's not really any reason to be fighting those guys because they don't really ever have anything. But I just wanted to see if I could do it. Oh. Never mind. That guy had some good stuff. That's just in case we get poisoned. I don't need that. I've got 2 already. And make my swords a little bit better. See if I can make my armor any better. Yeah. And take a nap. Just sleep for casual 3 days. It's fine. Sometimes you gotta do it. Hell yeah, it is. Welcome to the party, Mr. Chillin'. Sorry, Mr. McChillin'. I missed the MC. How are you doing? That's good, because we've got lots of intense puzzles coming up. Maybe. Maybe not. Depends on what we find, I guess. There's a farmhouse. I don't know if I should go to it, though. We'll leave the farmer alone for now. There's something down there. You just found a sword in the well. Huh. Well, I don't need it, so just stick it in the bag. I've already got one. Hey, that was nice. They like my guitar playing this time. Oh. How come none of these gamblers actually have any money? Or are they just looking at my money and they're like, you've got too much money. We're not even going to try to play against you. That could be. So I'm going to do a sneaky thing. Because if I travel in a general this way direction, there should be a place. You know, a place. Oop. Over that way. I said a general direction. Here we go. It's a shop. Yeah, I basically do. I got pretty rich in Romney. Sold a bunch of gemstones that I had, and basically took advantage of the fact that they're in the middle of a guild war and all the prices are atrocious. Oh. What happens if you don't want that either? There is one spell here that I really want, and it's this one. Wait, who probably won't be able to do any haggling, but I'm just gonna try it anyway. Okay. Didn't want to haggle. That's okay. I think that's really the only spell that I need from this guy. Final Rest, I have that already. Invitation. Fetters of Rhyme, I already got that one. Don't remember what this book is, so I should buy it and see. What does the spell do? It's this. So this spell, Unfortunate Flux, basically causes a swarm of pixies to fly around your enemy and do a random amount of damage. And some of them you could do like well over 100 damage. It's just random, and none of it makes any sense. But it's one of the most powerful spells in the game. So now we have it. I'm gonna see what this does. I think it's casting, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Wow. Now my casting accuracy is 91%. That's pretty good. And I don't know if I could keep using it. Oh yeah, I can. Okay. Well, we're gonna sit here and get up to 100%. Maybe. See if I can. It's not working anymore. Well, that's lame. Maybe I have to sleep. So. Okay. Apparently there's something hiding in the bushes, so I'm gonna escape. Okay, yeah, I know we need... Stop it! Jeepers. Just getting away from whatever the hell's in the bush. We need to sleep, sure, but not bad enough to subject yourself to monsters and mayhem. Jesus, boy. So, let's go find some guy to launch some pixies at, shall we? Where's this? Ah, okay. Yeah, basically. We need to sleep, but you're in danger. But we need to sleep. But the DM sighs. Hey. Ooh, nice. Which, oh, right. What does this say? To the High Priest of Kahuli, I request that Navon du Sondau to be driven mad for his attacks on my person and my family. So my petition ends. Count Jeffrey Corvallis. Hey Carly, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And chillin'. Yeah, I'm gonna try and murder some guys. Yeah, it has been a pretty good day. I mean, I haven't left the house too much because I haven't been working today. But the amount that I have left, it's nice and sunny and warm. Woo! Yeah. Okay, here we go, guys. Time for a riddle. Let's see if we can solve it. It goes past gates, but asks no one's leave. It runs clear around castles without taking a step. I think I got it. I don't think it's wind. It was a good guess, though. We have. So basically, we have to spell out a word, and we only get the number of letters that are shown here, but each dial has a specific set of letters. So, what runs around castles but doesn't take a step? We have no R. We do have a W and an A. Paul. It's Paul, guys. The answer is Paul. I don't know who Paul is, but he's the answer. You got it, chillin'. Classic Paul. Hey. What are you again? Kaltari poison. Right. I can use this to poison food if I want to. There's not really any reason to do that, though. Paul's Wall. Yeah. Paul's Wall runs around castles. Okay, so we got a note from a dude named Count Corvallis. He wants some guy named Navon to be driven mad. That's not very polite. We better go talk to this guy. First, we're gonna steal the money out of the well, because we're assholes. It's my wishing well now, bitches. I don't get much for this, but it's just entertaining to do. Yeah. It really is passive income. Can I give you anything? Oh, hey. You don't want my crossbow? Fine. But you have a crossbow. Rude. Okay. Got 35 bucks for playing. You thought it was a lobster the whole time? Oh, the red bow. No, not a. It's not a lobster. It does kind of look like one though, doesn't it? I'm just carrying my lobster around, guys. It's my pet lobster, Fred. Just stick him in my pocket and away we go. Yeah. I mean, I could use it, but it's apparently a rather unwieldy crossbow. So I'm just gonna keep it around until I find someone to sell it to. I don't talk to anybody in here yet. I have my little yeah. They're also apparently it misses a lot. So I don't need that. Who's this guy? The the door was ajar. They entered the building and were greeted by a man behind a small counter. I am the chief lender here. My name is Isunatis. Can I help you? He inquired. James brought out the accountant's roll they had discovered in Abuk's treasure chest and placed it on the counter. We were wondering what you might be able to tell us about the details of this note. It has your mark here at the bottom. Yes, I see, the man replied. Pushing his eyeglasses down onto the bridge of his nose, he began to examine it carefully. First looking at the top of his note, then glancing down at the bottom with a scowl, and then back to the top like a small child following the actions of a bouncing ball. Yeah, this guy's probably pretty sus. At last he spoke. I'm afraid that to make an exact match with our records, I would need a name and a date. It would be impossible for me to sort out otherwise. I wonder why there is no name attached to it. Are you sure there is no other way to make a verification? Quite sure, Isunatis replied. Though I can tell you that judging by the size of the deposit, it was definitely a man of high position, either a lord or a merchant with foreign contacts. James thanked the man, and as they let themselves out. He's the imposter. Yeah, definitely that guy. Like, who names their child Isunatus? It's a pretty sus name. Let's go to this house. We're just walking, letting ourselves into people's houses. It's fine. Everybody did that back then. No one had locks. Ah, Isunatus. Good call, good call. James roused the occupants. The door cracked open with a small squeak, just enough space to allow a pale-eyed girl in a dust-caked skirt to peek That's the word I'm looking for. Peek out at them. She studied them with a doubtful look, hesitant to let the strangers in. Yes, what is it? Stepping around the senior, Owen peered at the girl with a puzzled expression, then brightened. Mary? It's okay. They may look a little rough, but they're with me. Without a word, the servant girl stepped out of the way, allowing the three of them to follow her into the foyer of the manor. Excusing herself, she scurried off to fetch her master, who was located in the rear apartments. Following what sounded like a distant argument, a dark-haired man swept into the room, a look of annoyance set in his features. Shooting a glance of mild hostility first at Owen and then the Moradel, he turned on the senior. This is Count Corvallis.
Kindly tell me, sir, what is it I have done to make myself so attractive to the minuscule of the world? From the moment I first stepped from my bedchamber this morning, I have had servants swarming around me like nits and bothersome relations of my ankles. Will you kindly leave me in peace?
It is a pretty sick stash, though. We have very grave business to attend to, and I must speak to you.
Whatever you must do, I am quite certain does not involve me. I don't care what the nature of your business is about, Senior. I have other concerns.
Is that so? Have you concerns above and beyond the Prince of Krondor? If so, I shall make most eager account of them before him when I return. Go on and spell them out, so I may take them down. I'm sure Arutha will be fascinated.
The Prince, you say? Please understand that there are things going on that I am not entirely at liberty to discuss. Suffice to say that I have had something of a disagreement with the priests of the Temple of Kahuli in Kenting Rush over a private matter. So, if you may excuse my outburst, I would be happy to be of service to the Prince. What precisely can I do for you?
Huh. Now he's being a little nicer.
Money.
Yeah. Finances. I do like finances. Well, I don't like calculating finances. That part sucks. But I like seeing the big numbers in my bank account, that's for sure. Not that that happens very often, mind you. Not that I dislike your new house here. But what happened to the keep?
The townhouse is temporary lodging, nephew. We have no intentions of staying in Cavil like common folk. As for the keep, one night 3 years ago, an inept chambermaid left a lamp unattended by the tapestries which hung out the west wall. You remember them, don't you, Owen? Centuries old, woven by the finest weavers in all the kingdom. In seconds they went up in flames, and they took the rest of the keep with it.
I remember having heard something about a fire, but I hadn't known the keep had burned to the ground. It's a miracle that you all survived. Were you able to save anything?
We saved ourselves, Owen. The only things of true value that were within the castle. It is regrettable that the girl who was responsible for the blaze was killed, but Eugene and I both escaped it hale and hearty. I ordered only the stones of the foundation left behind, and the tunnel mouth sealed. We progress forward with our lives.
Why go to all that trouble?
I really would prefer not to speak of this anymore. It brings me great grief, and I would prefer to discuss other matters.
Yeah, he's a dick and then his house burned down. Surprise, surprise. Now let's talk about your money situation. There is a moneylender that lives here in town.
Isunatos, yes, I know him well. Strange Quesian fellow.
Then you have done business with him recently.
Why should it concern you? I have paid my taxes to the king.
We wish to borrow money, and we want to make certain that we deal with a reputable firm. I thought that if you had done any business with him, made any deposits, then perhaps you might know if he was an honest man. Ah, suspicion in business is a healthy tactic. To answer you, I have had no need to borrow any funds of late, and in fact have made several substantial deposits recently. Wow, way to tell someone that you're rich. Some of my better placed investments have provided me with comfortable profits. Barath be praised. Barath? I'm pretty sure I just said like 20 minutes ago that that was the god of thieves. So this guy's definitely sus. Isunatus will do well by you. Let's ask him about assessment. He's sus with a capital S-U-S. Weren't you a spotter for the Natalie's Rangers when you were younger? I seem to recall you telling stories when I used to visit at the keep. That was quite a long time ago indeed. But before you, Eugene, or even Neville had been born. I still have the eyes, too. I can tell you precisely how much a man is carrying by the way he walks, or how good a swordsman he is by the way he pulls it free of the scabbard. Sounds like a useful skill. Any chance you could teach us something about it? Don't be absurd. I spent 5 years training to be a spotter. You expect for me to teach it all to you in one afternoon? I suppose you're right. I'm already a decent spotter myself. I'll make you a wager, though. You teach us anything I don't already know, and I'll pay you in gold sovereigns. I'll take your wager, but I'm not one to waste my time. 200 sovereigns or it's no deal. Will you take that wager? Should we do it, guys? Should we pay him $200 to teach us assessment skills? I have the money. Yes, YOLO. Okay, here it goes. I'm ready when you are. Oh, hey Allison. I didn't see you there. I got so much green in the stream chat. uh, yeah. How was your dinner? Cool. Got some tasty food. Ooh, pizza. What kind of pizza? Ooh, I do love me a good margarita pizza. I'll accept the pineapple. I'm not one of those people who refuses pineapple. I will eat pineapple on my pizza if it's there. Neapolitan. Okay, now you're making me hungry. I really want pizza now. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I think I usually have pizza on Wednesdays. Huh. Pizza Wednesday. I like your thinking. Glad we could come to this conclusion. So, back to James. He's still James. Pizza party stream? Sounds good to me. Okay, so for those of you who are not aware, We do not stand James. James is kind of he's not a great person. He's kind of a dink. He hits on everything that walks, and that includes the definitively underage girls. So we say no to James and make him go through all of the bad traps. Yeah, that's right. Leave the underage girls alone. So, but for some reason, he's the main character, I guess. James is minus 10 out of 10. I agree. Him and his Count Humperdinck, Prince Humperdinck looking fucking face and stupid shirt. But I guess we should I guess we should get off the screen so we stop looking at his dumb face. So he's ready. So, oh right, assessment. I got a little sidetracked there. All this talk of pizza, and I forgot what we were doing. Then let us go outside, where we will have more room. The Count extended his arm. Which hand do I fight with? The Count asked. James squinted, the distance making an accurate evaluation difficult. For several hours the Count had unabashedly chastised him for his lack of ability at assessing the strength of his enemies. My guess is your right hand. Good, the Count said. Why? Your sword is slung on your left hip, James replied flatly. While it was the obvious answer, the Count was unimpressed with his practicality. Noting he was about to be regaled about ignoring subtle clues, he quickly added, and the callus on the pads of your right thumb and the base of your fingers. Okay. The Count nodded and dropped his hands to his sides. I've wasted enough time. You've lost the bet, boy. Let's get back inside. Okay. The final thing is Navon. Navon? You have a reputation for disliking Navon du Sandow. Anything you would care to share with us? And what makes you believe I have animosity for Eugene's tutor? Your petition to Kahuli. You ask for Navon to be, how did you put it? Driven mad until he is gray with age. Who did you pay to get that note? Do you have spies in the temple? Nothing so insidious as that, Count. It seems the petition collectors from the Temple of Kahuli have been slow to do their duties this year. We found your note and your tithe. If you tell us why you wished him driven mad, I'll let this little matter slip my mind. Otherwise, I think I can take up the matter with du Sandow. Do what you will, Signor. He already knows my feelings for him. I simply wish him gone from my family and his meddlings in our affairs. Day and night he is at Eugene, asking her questions about the keep and Cavil Run. How extensive were the tunnels that run under the great hall? Have they ever been mapped in any great detail? How much money is in my coffers? What are my schedules? With whom do I meet? His questions are endless. I lost a wife in that infernal fire, and I wish the matter put to rest. I never wish to hear another question again about it. Can you understand that, Signor? He brings up memories and feelings I wish to leave buried. Yeah. No pizza for James. Well, goodbye. You've been most helpful, Count Corvallis, but it's time we return to our business. Please give my regards to your daughter, Eugene. What, you don't even know her, James. Come on. I shall, Signor. Good traveling, and keep an eye on my nephew. Oh, I shall, believe me. Goodbye. See what I mean, Carly? James is just the worst. He might. That was kind of a really weird line for him to say, too. James might just like him young, and he don't care which side they swing for. Ah. Let's talk to this guy, whoever he might be. Owen's stomach grumbled. Waiting until another patron had finished placing his order for a roast hen. Ooh, I could go for a roast hen. And a tankard of ale. The senior beckoned the tavern keeper away from his other duties, hoping both for information and perhaps a bit to eat. Wow. What a man. Named Peter the Grey. That's kind of an interesting name. It's actually kind of funny, too, because there's a guy who lives in my town whose name is Peter Grey. Minus the. Yeah, this guy does have quite the haircut.
Evening, gents. Just let me know if you need anything.
The three of us are fine, but you sound as if you've had better days. Is something bothering you, friend?
I don't suppose you would be interested in becoming a scully, would you, lad?
I can't honestly say it's on my list of ambitions at the moment, no. Having problems with the help. Yeah, I don't know why his name is Peter the Grey, because you're right, his hair is still black, so maybe he does just have a bad mood. Which is why I'm giving him the voice of the peasants in Warcraft 2.
Hello.
You know, those guys.
Having problems with the help. I wouldn't call it problems so much as disappointments. I don't know what to say to the lad. He's a good enough boy, kind, honest, hard-working, but all in all, he doesn't have the faintest idea which end of the pan's the handle. I've tried for weeks to teach him how to cook, so the wife and I could take some time off, but when it comes to cooking, he's as dense as the thunder hell. I don't know what else to do, but enough about me. What can Peter do for you?
Yeah. How about some food? So, barkeep, what sort of fare do you offer in the Duck's Head?
Only the best in the kingdom. What can Peter interest you in today? A bit of roast chicken with a hunk of cheese? Spitted roast with steamed potato eyes? Or what ho? The house special? A duck basted in lemons and stuffed with rose peel crumbs. How does that strike you?
Actually, doesn't sound too bad. I don't suppose any of those come in servings for the road.
Oh my goodness, no. We can prepare rations for you at the very reasonable cost of 14 gold per pack. Shall I have them made?
I guess. How much do I have? I'll do like 7. Good enough. Let's talk to the big man again.
Back already? Fine enough with me. I like the company. What can Peter do for you?
Nighthawks. Womp womp. Have you ever seen any nighthawks in the area? Yeah, we're back to James. Lock the doors. Have you ever seen any nighthawks in the area?
Bishop forfend. The Guild of Death. I wouldn't let them in my establishment. When one of my patrons comes into the inn, he comes in breathing, and I like them leaving in the same condition. Alive. Please tell me you aren't looking to hire one.
Hire one? I might be. Okay. There's someone I've been having problems with.
Not another word of it. Not another word of it. Whatever grievance you have with this man, I don't want to know. If you're looking for a contact, you'll not find one here. If you're looking for a criminal, try the pub in Prankstone.
Cool. Yeah. Well, next time there's a trap, I can run James through the electrical current just for fun. That would be kind of funsies, wouldn't it? And yeah, the Guild of Death, they are the Nighthawks. We're basically trying to find them because they killed a bunch of people in Romney, and we kind of want them to get got. You know what I mean? Oh no, your people need you. Okay. I will pillage many wells. Let's ask about Count Corvallis. Being right across the street from the Count, you must see him quite a lot.
Actually, no. The Count is quiet, likes to keep his own company mostly. He's not one much for drinking with the commoners. His whole family has been much the same way, with the exception of his daughter.
Does he have any unusual callers at his house?
There aren't many that would visit him. Don't get me wrong, he isn't a bad sort, but he can be unpleasant at times. About the only people in and out of there are Eugene's suitors and the men who work for the Count.
Really? Yeah. Sooner or later, it's always going to come up in conversation. And it's always with James. Fucking guy. Let's ask about spare room. I could use a nap.
Need a bit of rest, do you? I wish there was something to do for you, but the only room open in the Duck's Head is the scullery.
We wouldn't mind sharing with someone,
Truly, I would like to help you, but the rooms I do have to let. But the rooms I do have to let. That's weird. Are full up, and I don't think my scully would want to share. The room is only just large enough for him to squeeze into, and it's a tight fit as it is. With 3 of you in there, we'd have to stack you like bricks of wood. I'm sorry.
We'd stack James on the bottom. That would be kind of fun.
Oh, well, I suppose I'll live without the company. Good day to you.
And to you as well. Well. Leave him outside. Yeah. Let's see. The party's abilities have increased. Oh my. Right, assessment. Nah. That's okay. It is almost nighttime, so we're gonna sleep. There we go. Now we gotta go find Owen's cousin. And we better keep James away from this one. A girl crossed the field. Lacking the arrogant bearing of her father, she moved like a wisp of smoke, her tread so light it seemed she floated, rather than walked through the rustling weeds. Flittering to Owen's side, she kissed him lightly on the cheek. Woo! Did I ever tell you that you show up at the strangest of times? It's nice to see you. What are you doing wandering around unescorted? Honestly, you astonish me. By your age, most girls have the common sense to realize there are dangerous types wandering around in the open. Yeah, at least it's Owen talking to the girl, because she's his cousin. So, at least Owen can smack James with his stick if he gets too close. How's that for an introduction? You're only 4 years older than me, Owen, and I don't see that my age has anything to do with it. I just like to come out here to think when I have a problem that won't solve itself otherwise. It also gives me a safe harbor away from Father when he's on one of his raging fits. Is he on one at the moment? One of the worst I've ever seen. He's fired the entire kitchen staff, dismissed the guard, thrown out all 5 of my maids. He's been that way since about dinner time last evening. I tried to ask him what had had him so upset, but he would only tell me that he had received some very bad news from a messenger regarding a financial arrangement which he had made.
Have any idea what the note said? Right? They really are. The guy fired all of his staff just because he's grumpy. And he's got the money to do it because he's just going to hire somebody else. Any idea what the note said?
Who knows? He's always on about conspiracy this, conspiracy that. It's like he's always afraid someone's about to find out some dire secret about the family when there's nothing to hide. It's getting terribly repetitive, really. So, you have this frightful look on your face as if there's something you're afraid to speak to me about. What is it?
News.
So, when is a suitor gonna snatch you up? Are there any that are even in good standing? There are two, neither of whom father likes. But then again, he never likes anyone I do. One is Myron, my father's solicitor, who lives just outside of Cavil Keep with his daughter, Amy. He does have a minor claim to nobility because his brother is an earl someplace, but father thinks his connections are too tenuous for us to consider.
Oh, I'm sure she'll find out sooner or later. Rich people always have secrets. Yeah, she's, I guess, just daft.
And what about the second suitor? He's a businessman from Kentingrush named Navon du Sondow. I like him, though he can be a bit intense at times. We like to talk, and he is always asking me some point about mythology or another. He doesn't mind a girl who reads.
Unpleasant past. Your father says he doesn't like your suitor Navon because he keeps bringing up painful memories about the keep when he asks about the family legends. The death of your mother, the fire that burned the keep down.
It isn't fair to hold that against Navon. He is interested in our family, in me, and so naturally he has questions about the keep. Wouldn't you be interested in the history of someone you wish to marry? Wouldn't you want to know them as well as you know your own family?
Well, it gets to kind of a point where you gotta start to wonder if the guy's a little sus. He's asking some pretty weird questions, like how much money your father's got, and if their underground tunnels in their old house were ever mapped out. Seems like he's kinda sneaking about. Yeah, we gotta know.
It's not so much the death of my mother that bothers father, though, as does Neville's death all those years ago. But father insists on clinging to a silly coincidence.
Coincidence? What's a coincidence?
Navon's name is du Sondow. It's the same last name as the man who constructed father's wine cellar, the one that collapsed. Father's holding it against him that he happens to have the same last name. It's so ridiculous.
Ridiculous or suspicious? Let's ask about her half-brother Neville. I don't remember much about how Neville died. It was such a long time ago.
You couldn't have known much about it so far off in Tyburn. Mother and father were both in such grief. They didn't want a spectacle made of his death. Neville was down in Cavil Run, sent down by father to get a keg of Queesian sour from his wine cellar. We had guests that day.
Cavil Run?
You remember, underneath the keep, all those tunnels that seemed to stretch for miles. We never did know for sure how extensive it was. I used to love to take walks down there in the dark, just to think and have some time to myself. It's one of the things I miss most about the keep, not having the tunnels to play in anymore. when Neville didn't come back from getting the keg. Father went down into the run after him. The wine was served, then the appetizers, then the first course. Still Father hadn't come back. The second course was served, the third, and then finally Father appeared. He told us the tunnel had collapsed, and Neville was trapped behind it all. We were never able to dig it out enough to recover the body. So, her brother Neville dies in the wine cellar that collapsed. And now, years later, a guy shows up who happens to have the same last name as the guy who built the wine cellar that the brother Neville died in. Coincidence? Maybe. Maybe not. Hi, Luna. Coming to say hello. Yeah. Nope, she won't let me pick her up this time. Yeah, that's true. No body was recovered. The murder. You'll forgive us if we look a little ragged, but we're trying to find out about a murder that took place down in Romney. We've been searching for a little while. Do you think the murderer escaped to Cavil Keep? We're not sure. All we know at the moment is it may have had something to do with a brass spyglass or a spider. Silver spider we found near the bodies. I don't suppose the spyglass had a star inscribed on it, did it? I can't recall why. Would that be important? For someone who's a part of the family, you certainly don't seem to know much about the family law. We used to have a spyglass that sat in a glass case in the entryway of the keep. There was a legend that if a person knew the right things to think, then they could use the spyglass to spy on the minds of others. It was in the family for generations, but it disappeared about the time that Neville was killed in the wine cellar all those years ago. Father accused the workmen of having stole it. And what things was the person to think to make the spyglass work? I don't know. Neville used to tease me, and told me he knew what to think and that he could use it, but he never did. It was only a legend after all. Classic. Family legends. Your father said Navon kept at you about the family legends. He was fascinated by anything that had to do with the Corvallis family. He would ask where the spyglass had come from, and how long the keep had been standing, and where the Garda Revanche went to. We talked about everything. Sword? What does the Garda Revanche have to do with our family history? I thought it was some kind of legend about the days when only the elves lived here. The part of the legend that everybody knows has to do with the elves, but for a time the Garda Revanche was in our family's possession, or so family legend has it. Upon her 14th birthday, the lady of Cavil Keep was given a special present by her elven servant to give to her husband, Lord Corvallis, a sword that would make him great among men. Whereupon she ran to his bedchamber to present him with the great gift. But upon opening the sword, she was shaken by a great evil. There actually is a bit of elf racism. Mostly towards the Moradel. Moradel are basically this universe's version of Dark Elves. Gorath, our buddy with the red cloak, he's Moradel. But most people don't actually know how to tell the difference, so they just think he's an elf, which basically he is, but at the same time he's not. They look pretty much exactly the same. Basically, the only ones who are really able to tell are like other elves, obviously, and dwarves are able to tell as well because they're dwarves and they're just awesome. But yeah, the Moradel are basically the main bad guys of this game. And people don't usually like elves in general just because they can't really tell whether you're an elf or a Moradel. Yeah, it's basically exactly like Vulcans and Romulans. That's a good analogy. Let's see. Within her hand the sword blade began to glow, and she screamed as she raised the blade over her head and cleaved her husband's head from off his shoulders. From there she went from one child's chamber to the next, until she had slain all her children by Lord Corvallis, and once that was done, she ran mad and was seen in Cabal no more. Wow, that's quite the story. How charming. You don't have it laying about somewhere, do you? Be nice to me, or I may give the sword to you. No, the legend goes on to say that it was eventually removed from the family after the episode was repeated by later generations of other branches of our family. A book I have about it tells where it went, but I lent the book to Navon so he can look it over. That's weird. I thought that the Garda Revanche was only supposed to work on Moradel. It's a legend. No one ever said that a legend has to be consistent. That's true. Huh. So keep the Garda Revanche in your mind. It's gonna come up again. As nice as it's been talking to you again, we have to be on our way. Promise me you'll find someone to look after you soon. I would appreciate it if you stopped fretting about me as if I was a child, but I'll take the promise only so long as you make the same promise. Very well. You have my word as a son of the Count of Tyburn. Goodbye, Eugene. Doing her voice makes my throat dry. Not that I have to do that voice for her, but I got it. I started. I can't stop now. So, according to my cheat notes, gotta go back and talk to her friend Peter. Yes, I made cheat notes, basically, so I could keep things going. Yep, I'm in it to win it now. Peter.
Back already. Fine enough with me, I like the company. What can Peter do for you?
Neville. Did Eugene ever tell you how it was that Neville died? I was only 7 midsummers when it happened.
That was a terrible, terrible day. I thought Eugene would come apart then. But she has quite a bit of a mother in her. Lot of iron. They dug for 4 days, poor men. Never were able to recover the little tot's body from all the rubble. I still can't imagine what the Count must have been thinking.
Yeah, they do. 'Cause this game does not have any sort of journal to store your quests in. So, if you don't write anything down, and then you say don't play the game for a month, and you come back, then you're like, what the fuck was I doing? I have no idea. Yeah, there's no journal. You just have to remember everything or write it down yourself. And things don't jump out at you like most modern games, where it'll be like, hey, we're gonna highlight this phrase because this is important. In this game, you just have to guess what's important, so you don't actually know whether or not you're getting a quest. So someone might just be like, hey, such and such a thing's going on 2 towns over. I wonder what that's about. And then you could be like, oh, yeah, I don't know, man. I haven't heard nothing. And continue on your merry way. Or you can go check out what they're talking about, and it turns out, bam, it's a quest. You just don't know. But yeah, luckily, the HTML wiki page, or basically that's what it is, the Betrayal at Krondor help web, while it did finally go offline, I don't know, 5 years ago or so, somebody apparently liked the game well enough to find all of the source coding and reprint it to a new website. So I have my cheat sheets again. Where was I? Yeah. So basically, I've just been like going through that before I start playing, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go to this place, I gotta go to that place, and should probably talk to this dude and that dude and that dude. And that's how I'm basically playing the game, because otherwise I wouldn't have a clue what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm sure you guys don't really want to watch me just wander aimlessly for like 12 hours not knowing what to do, because that would just take forever. So I figured I'm just going to make my own cheat sheet. Yeah. Let's see. Ah. Never were able to recover the little tot's body from all the rubble. I still can't imagine what the Count must have been thinking. Cheat sheet good. Uncle, what did he do? I mean, why did he hire that man Sandow to build the wine cellar for them in the first place? He had a bit of a reputation as a drunk as it was, and 3 times while he was building it the Count discovered him so capped he couldn't even stand up straight to take his thrashing. The Count should have known the cellar would be unstable. Yeah, that is kind of weird. I'm sorry. I'm not being fair. Of course, none of us had a way of knowing. They wouldn't have purposely had the cellar built shoddy. Why waste his money? Navon. I hear that the Count isn't too thrilled with one of Eugene's suitors, a fellow by the name of Navon du Sandow. Know anything about him? It's a pity he doesn't like the man. He's perfectly charming, handsome, mannered if you haven't crossed him, but zealous if he thinks you're doing something wrong to someone. He'd be just the cat's whiskers for Eugene. I like that. Just the cat's whiskers. Any idea where we could find him? He's a businessman, so it may be difficult to track him down. I think he lives in Kenting Rush. You may try asking in the taverns there. Okay, we have our next target. If you'll excuse me, we have a few other things we need to be about, and not much time to do them. Shut up, James. Oh well, I suppose I'll live without the company. Good day to you. And to you as well. Fucking guy. Owen was having a good talk with him, and James just jumps in. He's like, yeah, we gotta go. Bye. And he's like, well, alright, I guess I'll just be here, chilling. Cooking some ducks. So, our next place we gotta go is here. Kenting Rush, because that's apparently where we're gonna find Navon. It is such a James thing to do, isn't it? It's just like, we just gotta go, man. We gotta go. Gotta do our business and leave. Except for when there's a pretty woman around. Then he's like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And you're like, what happened to... We have stuff to do, James. Come on. Yeah. Let's go north. Wait. Let's put some ice on our swords. Just because we can. I don't have any ice for you, so you get a spider. Off to Horny Jail with you, James. Oh no. Oh fuck. So these guys. See the guy in the back there who kind of looks like the rest of them, but he looks all bloodied up and shit? That is a Black Slayer. They're basically zombified versions of these guys. The Black Slayers are gonna keep coming back to life all the time if we don't kill everybody else first. But yeah, remember back when they were talking about the Guild of Death? Well, these guys are the Guild of Death. They're like super spy ninja motherfuckers. And we're gonna blast them with Fireball. Bap. Oh, you missed. Yep. Poke him. Got him. Let's hit you with a fireball this time. Or him. I guess that works too. As long as you hit one of the bad guys. And he's down. That guy trying to leave. Zap him. Got him. You can go fight the Black Slayer. Now you... Nope, you missed. What a dink. Get him. Really? There we go. And nobody came back to life. That's good. We don't want them coming back to life. 14, 14, 14, 12. Sure. It can get really annoying if you've got like a group of like 5 or 6 of them and they just keep, I think they come back to life every 2 turns if you don't cast the final rest spell on their bodies. And so like for example, if there's a guy who just won't leave Owen alone, so Owen can't get a spell off, then the guys just keep coming back to life over and over and over. And it gets to be a real pain in the ass. Yeah. We'll probably find a fight like that in the next little while because we're actually trucking along pretty well. Hey, what's this? Hey, etc. Goods. Just a random store in the middle of nowhere. And that's great. Check this weirdly out of place tree stump. Hey, money. Yeah, zombies do suck. At least these ones don't, like, suck your blood or anything. They just don't stay dead. Hi. Hello, good friend. We would like an opportunity to speak with you. May we come in? What? What do you want? I said we would like to talk to you for a moment and perhaps get some fresh water for our pouches. Huh? You want fish water for your cows? What? No, I said we'd like some fresh water for our pouches. And we'd like to talk with you. What? Could we come in and speak to you? What do they want, dear? They say they want to come in and sleep with us. They want to see our ducks. We don't have any ducks. Why would... never mind. Never mind. Sorry to have bothered you folks. So that was just a harmless old couple who are completely deaf. I always like those two. Yep. Huh. There's something in their field. Oh, it's a hole. Not the corn, you punk. Stop. I don't want to eat the corn. There we go. The hole. Hey, look, food. Yeah. Still relatable. Yeah. Yeah. Deaf elderly people problems. Whee. Huh. Am I in Kenting Rush? I think so. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's plunder a well. It was unusual well. James ran his hands across the wooden crank. Tried to turn it, but discovered it was jammed. Reaching down to get a better grip, his fingers scraped against something hard and smooth. It was a small, round lock. I believe I'm familiar with this kind of lock. In days past, some men required their ladies to wear locked undergarments as an assurance of chastity while they were away. I'm sure you are familiar with that kind of lock, James. Jesus, why don't you just say it? As stories go, the men gave the keys to these undergarments to none but their closest and most trusted friends. No, naturally, the ladies did everything in their power to convince their friends to use the key to remove the uncomfortable things, and many illicit romances were said to have developed. The lock. Oh, okay. Good, good talking to you. So there will be many adventures yet to come. You too. Bye. The lock was always replaced before the husband returned home, but after unlocking the device, the key was often left with the friend for the next time the husband went away. In the meantime, the secret lovers would sometimes find an abandoned well, put one of these locks, and use the key to hide love notes. Shall we try to open it? Virtue key. Yeah, that's what we needed. James checked their keys. Finding a virtue key, he moved to the well, found the lock, and inserted the small key, turning it gently. The lock was a bit rusty, but after a few seconds he was able to twist the key in the lock, producing a satisfying click. The handle now unlocked, he cranked it in a clockwise motion, and after about a dozen turns, the dry bucket emerged from the well. Searching inside, they found something small and covered with dirt and leaves. It was a knight's piece. Yeah, it's a chess piece. Huh. Well, that's something. James sniffed the air. Well, for the better part of the last hour, he had been trying to piece together the details of the murder at the Black Sheep Tavern. Something else had begun nagging at him, elusive as the names of all the mockers he'd once known. It had only been after a few minutes of consideration that he'd realized what it was that was distracting him. "Do you smell anything odd?" he asked Gorath, struck by the oddity of smelling jasmine in the open. He could spot no natural flora that could account for the scent. But while searching, he thought he spotted someone moving down the road towards them.
"There is little here to give event enough to warrant visitors from the Bitter Sea. And if that weren't enough, it seems we have guests as well from Elvendar. Welcome to Kenting Rush."
This may sound a strange question, but a moment ago I thought I smelled spice. Jasmine, to be exact. Does it grow near here?
"You have a keen nose. Unfortunately, it isn't local. I deal in spices as well as a number of other imported goods. I've just returned from a lengthy trip into Kesh, and I am afraid the scent clings a bit to the clothes."
but you've only just come up the road. I've been smelling it for some while.
I am told the scent carries. There is a bit of a wind today. So, as you are travelers in the area, and dealing with the natives can sometimes be difficult, is there any way I can be of some assistance to you?
Yeah, so this is the Navon du Sandow that we've been hearing so much about. He's a fancy looking fucker. Let's ask him about Count Corvallis. What reason would Count Corvallis have to dislike you, Navon?
Perhaps he is an overly protective father. Who is to say? I'm frankly surprised he hasn't hired a band of Nighthawks to have me killed. I asked too many questions for his tastes.
You think he has connections to the Guild of Assassins?
It's a well-known fact he is surrounded by Nighthawks. They guard his house, his lands, Caval Keep. When his daughter Eugene and I have time together, we are always followed by assassins, though they never wear their guild clothing while working for the Count.
Why don't any of the local people do anything about it? Surely they object to having the Nighthawks loose in the area.
They look the other way. As long as none of them are being killed, it doesn't concern them. I'm sure that's even true in Krondor.
Maybe. By any chance, are you any relation to the Sandow who was the workman who built Count Corvallis's wine cellar?
None, but unfortunately the Count refuses to believe me. I see conspiracy in his eyes every time I meet him, but I don't know how I can put him at ease about the accident. We would both be all the healthier if he didn't dwell on such an unfortunate coincidence.
Fair enough, I guess. Do you know anything about the accident that killed Neville Corvallis?
It was a peculiar accident, if I understand the tavern keeper at the Duck's Head in Caval Keep. Seems this Sandow fellow was something of a drunkard, who had a reputation for building inferior structures. I find it hard to believe the Count would have entrusted the construction to such a man, but surely he couldn't have meant for the wine cellar to collapse.
You think the Count intended to have the wine cellar collapse? For what purpose?
I've heard the Count suspected his son of something terrible, but the Count and I have enough bad blood between us. I don't wish to say anything else that may jeopardize my suit with Eugene. As the things I have related to you are rumor, I would appreciate it if you didn't tell the Count we have spoken on this subject.
Alright. Chess. I found a chess piece in the well. You know anything about that? Ivan Skald in Malik's Cross tells us you are quite a chess player.
High praise. He isn't too terrible at it himself.
He told us you had a move called Sandow's Retreat. I'd be intrigued to learn it from you.
I couldn't just give away a move like that. It's kept me undefeated for several years now.
I'd be willing to pay you to learn how.
You're after Ivan, aren't you? He won't know what's hit him until you have him. As I recall, he always bets an emerald, so I'll let you at least get something from the win. Say, 100 gold sovereigns. Deal?
Sure. It will be worth it just to see the look on his face. Proceed.
Give me a moment to fetch a few appropriate stones. If you would sketch out a board in the dirt, I will show you the architecture of a grand humiliation.
James grinned, as Navon played out his moves using an odd assortment of stones. It was apparent the play would be devastating if used against an aggressive opponent.
Think you can remember all of that?
Navon asked, brushing the dirt from his hands. Not a problem, James replied, dumping Navon's fee onto the hastily created chessboard. I think Ivan is in for quite a surprise. Right on. Excellent. Huh. As we have appointments elsewhere, we should probably be on our way.
Good traveling to you, then. And if you ever have any need of anything and are in Kenting Rush, be sure to come and see me.
Okay. Goodbye. Ooh. Oh. Let's explore town a bit. What? Okay, that was a thing that happened. Ooh, there's a loot. 35 bucks. Nice. This guy just wants to drink. That's fine. This guy doesn't have any money. That's also fine. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sweet. What is it now? 72%. I like that. Hi. Gorath was about to knock, but his knuckles touched nothing save air as the door swung out of his reach. Accepting the mysterious invitation, they entered the dwelling slowly. There were shelves on every wall and books on every shelf. Owen's eyes fell upon a wooden staff in the corner of the room. Ah, you've already found my lightning staff. You like it, I can tell. The voice came from a man sitting on a chair in one corner of the room. The table in front of him was stacked with papers, making his huddled form hard to see. I am Shoral. Prove your worthiness to me, and I shall give it to you. What kind of game are you playing? Gorath demanded. His eyes little more than slits, the magician replied slowly. Not a game. He turned to stare at Owen. If you can answer the 3 questions, I will give you my staff. But fail this little test, and I shall extract a payment in gold. Care to try your luck? Yeah. Excellent. Come, sit before me, and we shall begin. Owen did as he was instructed, much to the chagrin of Gorath, who sat down quietly nearby, one hand placed strategically on the handle of his sword. The first question, Owen, is this. Our great and mighty pug claims to know magic of the greater path, and magic of the lesser path. Is this truly possible? Yes. Very good, my friend, Shoral muttered. You have but 2 questions remaining. He shifted in his chair, shuffled through some papers on his desk, then continued. Dragon lords once ruled this planet. One of these, Valharu, Draken Korin, called himself Lord of the Eagles. Do I tell the truth of this? No, you don't. You have answered correctly once again, said the sorcerer. His smile turned icy. Now, only 1 question remains. Answer it correctly, and you shall have my staff. Gorath looked at the magician coldly, not liking the evil fire that seemed to be erupting on his face. Suddenly, Owen began to shout. My eyes! My eyes! What have you done to my eyes, you black demon? I can't see! In an instant, Gorath sprang to his feet, drawing his sword. Wait! I haven't done anything to your eyes, sputtered the startled Shoral. Can't you see me? He shouted, waving his hands in the air wildly. Owen smiled broadly. I'm sorry, my mistake. Yes, I can see you just fine. He winked at the sorcerer. Foolish me, and I thought your last question was going to be hard, perhaps even impossible to answer. Without waiting for a response, he grabbed the lightning staff and began to head for the door. Come on, he shouted over his shoulder. We better leave now. Eh. Well, I got a pretty sweet staff out of it. Hey, fuck off. You're gonna take the staff. And then take the staff, and then you're gonna get rid of your old stick. I know it probably has sentimental value, but this staff is better. It's a better stick, 'cause it's got a blue thing on the top. Also, it lets you cast Skyfire, which is lightning bolt for Dungeons and Dragons fans. Um, is there no store in this place? Not that I need a store, but oh, hey, there is too. Jewels, keys, rings. Do I even? Hmm. It's getting dark. Yeah. Well, I don't need to actually go any further north, I don't think. No. But there is a place that I should have gone to earlier. Oh, you again. I don't need to talk to you. Bugger off. Goodbye, you fancy looking freak. There's a place that I forgot to check out earlier. So, we're gonna do that now. First, I think we're gonna sleep at the inn. First, I think we're gonna run around in circles. And then we're gonna sleep at the inn. Yeah. Oh wait, you don't have an inn. Never mind. That was a waste of my time. That's fine. Oop, James needs sleep. Yeah, this place. There's a path here that we should have gone to, but we didn't. Hey, what's that? It's a shell. Wow. Oh. Okay. Oh, this. Oh, wait. That. Well, I already messed that up. Oh well. Wait. Good. And then you push that one. And then push it that way. And then you escape. Okay, I saved it, guys. I didn't think I would be able to, but that's okay. Yeah. Off in the distance, a hiss whispered in James's ears. Owen said. Think we should investigate further? Yeah. It's a waterfall. Wait, what was that? Huh. Rope. Probably gonna need that. I don't really need that, but... So... Oh, that's what it does. It increases... Let's see. Scouting is now 63. What if I get rid of it? Yeah. Oops. I apparently forgotten to do that. Which note was this? I don't need that anymore. I can get rid of it. What else can I get rid of? Can I use you? I don't think I can use that book anymore. I guess we'll see. Enter. Wait, where'd it go? There we go. Water cascaded over them. Sloshing through the thundering curtain of water, they flung themselves down on a wet stone slab, which lay beside the waterfall. Wet strands of hair dangling before their eyes, they looked around their new surroundings. A door was set into the face of the rock, and on either side an empty iron brazier was bolted to the door's frame. To the right side there was a small, darkened niche. James stood to take a closer look at the mysterious hole, discovering there a chessboard. Looks like someone was getting ready to play a match, but they were missing a piece. Owen smiled. If it doesn't occur to you, you're as thick as a stump. James nodded, collecting the knight's piece they had acquired from the well in Kenting Rush. Setting it in its missing place, he grinned with satisfaction as the door swung open. If that isn't an invitation, I've never seen one. Shall we? Yeah. Is that a spider right off the bat? Yep, that's a spider right off the bat. There's 4 spiders. How about you throw a fireball at him? That's one down. You. And you're dead too. Nice. You can do that. You missed. There we go. Heal some more. And got him. Boom. What was that? Ooh, food. Nice. So we're just gonna kind of wander around in the dark for a while. I think this place has lots of goodies to find, so we'll also kill these guys. Oh, nice. So we're gonna kill the spiders first because the Black Slayer's gonna do his thing, which is stop Owen from being able to cast spells, which is not what we want. There we go. Poke him. Yeah, I guess you can probably guard. Come on. Jeez, this guy's tough. Oh, there we go. Got him. As long as you kill the Black Slayer last, you should be good. One torch. That's a dead end, so is that. I think these are all just dead ends down here, so we're just gonna go this way. Yeah, let's go this way. Oop! That's a spider. Didn't see this guy coming. There we go. That kind of startled me there. I was not expecting a spider to jump out for me from around the corner. Nice. Oop, that's a dead end. Whee. Let's open the door. Oh. Nice. Is this the way? Nope, that's a dead end too. Okay. I'm definitely gonna be horribly lost. This is probably a bad chest. Yep. Oop. Well, you didn't like that one. And that was absolutely useless. So, time to reload. Hold on a minute. I'm going to cheat. Because I have a map. I think this is where I am. Yeah, I know where I am. The sparkling globe can float on water and weighs not more than a feather. Yet despite its weight, 10 giants could never pick it up. Well, sparkling globe that can float on water. Bubbly. Nice. And 10 trolls strength, 10 trolls length. 1 troll can pick it up, no troll can stand it up. This is one that I like to say to people, tell people. They never seem to get it. I mean, I don't use trolls. I change the wording a little bit, but what do we have here? A translation of an ancient account of the travels of an abbot from Malak's Cross. The book was filled with stories and notes on mythology. Apparently, the abbot had been looking for proof of the existence of a sword known as the Garda Revanche, a cursed blade which was often associated with the Moradel. Shortly before the end of the journal, he related a curious tale. And so came I unto the Abbey of Killian, which stood unto the western fringe of the forest of the Eladel, so named Elvindar. And there was shown a fairy chest, upon whose face were the runes which are common unto the Elven and Moradel kin. A certain father then did turn the strange cylinders which were on the face of the chest, forming a word unfamiliar to me, Glamradel, but one which threw open the latches which bound close the lid of the box. From within he brought a finely jeweled hilt which he called the Gaeta. This father then told me it had come from a ruin of an ancient place, and since there was much misfortune come unto their abbey, and they willed it should be returned there for its eternal rest. He also did tell me other things, strange and wondrous of the legend, saying a spell had been bound into a shell that would repair the blade, which had long been broken away, describing the shell as one marked with an uneven surface of 10 misformed lumps. So, that gave us a book that talks about the sword. That's the book that Eugene said she gave to Navon. So what the hell's it doing here with all these night elves around? Nighthawks around. That's mighty suspicious, guys. Mighty suspicious. And here's another door. Oop. Just one guy? Okay. A nighthawk awaited them, reaching inside the black folds of his tunic. He just swallowed poison. Huh. I'll wager as well he wasn't the leader, and that the door beyond will be locked. We find whoever is running this ring, and we'll find the key we need. How can you guess all that? Owen asked, perplexed by the statement. He doesn't even have a key on him, and secondly, I don't believe the leader of the guild would simply commit suicide. More likely he'd try to take as many of us with him as he could when he went. Huh. That's useless to me. I got lots of rope. Okay, well, we actually got what we need, so I'm gonna try to figure out how the hell to get back out of this place. Not that way. Better save, just in case I fall in a pit. Oops. Oop. You're tired. Oh. Come on. Get through the door. There we go. So, we got the book. That's mighty suspicious. So now we go back and we talk to Navon. See why exactly he's got the book that Eugene gave to him in that underground place that's got lots of Nighthawks. Why am I here? I want this. Food. I could use some food. Yeah, give me some food. Oh. I don't really need two of these, to be honest. Can I... fuck, just clicking all the wrong things. I'm sorry. There. I don't think I can. No. No, well. Okay. There we go. Now. Wait, what was that? Can I sell one of them here? Nope. Just gonna head north for a while until we get here. Now this is gonna be something. So okay. You better do that. Gotta get all prepared, because we are about to confront Navon. I had not expected to see you three again for quite some time. How can Navon du Sandau be assistance of you? For you? Well, we'd like to ask you about the sword. Eugene Corvallis told us she loaned you a book about the Garda Revanche. Might I borrow it back from you? Unfortunately, I don't have it on my person. I left it at home. At home? Are you certain you didn't misplace it anywhere? As it is a loan, I keep it in a very safe place, where it cannot become damaged. Somewhere like Cavil Run? I have always wondered what the leader of the Nighthawks might be like, and now it seems we may meet face to face. Interesting conclusion. How do you arrive at it? We found the Abbot's journal in Cavil Run, after we had a slight run-in with a few of your men. You mentioned earlier that you thought that Count Corvallis might have killed your son. His son. But as I recall, the body was never found, and you have displayed an unerring interest in the Corvallis family, the kind of interest that a son might display in a family from whom he has been separated. Did you kill yourself, or was that your father's doing? I believe congratulations are in order. You've accomplished what my father, his men, and the king's detachment from Bastira were unable to achieve. You are a clever man. Why the Nighthawks, Navon? Or should I call you Neville? Suppose for a moment a woman bears her husband a strong, attractive, intelligent son. As he grows,
He shows every sign that he will make a fine man, but somehow different. Suppose, then, at about age 11, the boy's father discovers the boy is not in fact his son, but the son of another man, a bastard. Among the common folk it would be no great crime, but supposing the fooled father was noble, that would change things, wouldn't it? What if the real father had gotten the child upon the indiscreet noblesse as a means to gain power? You became a threat to the succession, so the Count opted to eliminate you. He locked you in the wine cellar, but you found your way into the care of the Nighthawks. Yes, they had come to Cabal to regroup, following their route by Prince Sarutha, and initially they thought to ransom me. When they realized the Count wouldn't pay for my return, they decided to kill me, but I convinced them I had mental powers. The spyglass. It has been useful on more than one occasion. It gave me control of the Nighthawks, and it also allowed me to predict my father's moves. He believed I was dead, of course, but the appearance of Navon du Sandow years later made him nervous. He believed I might know about the scandal, and would tell what I know. That wouldn't have been any fun. Far better to torture your murderer than to simply kill him, don't you think? He became most agitated when I torched the family's keep. It was a shame to lose it, but a necessary sacrifice. So you could have control of the caverns underneath the keep, a perfect hiding place for you and your men, and an excellent rendezvous with the Moradel with whom you were dealing. The tunnels were extensive, and relatively unknown by any outside of the family. Besides, as husband to Eugene, I would eventually have been its rightful master. Not that I would have conjugated the marriage, Bishop forbid. She would have died some unpleasant death on our wedding night. Tragedy seems to plague the Corvallis family. Between the family fortune and Delacon's deposits with Usunatis at Cabal Keep, I could have run the Nighthawks indefinitely. I want the key, Navon. Hand it over. Perhaps you would like to take it from me. Since you first arrived in Romney looking for the Nighthawks, I've been watching you, Senor James. For years I've heard tales about Jimmy the Hand, from the men who survived your Nighthawk purges in Krondor. They told very impressive tales about you. Now it's time to see if you can match a true Nighthawk in combat. Oh boy. Navon ripped off his tunic. Beneath, he wore the familiar uniform of the Guild of Death, a golden hawk emblazoned on a black gambeson. Ordinarily, I do not dress so heavily, he said with a grin, withdrawing his weapon, but you interrupted some business I was planning to take care of. Whew. Bitch just did 31 damage with a crossbow. Let's see if I can shoot him. Nope. What else? What other spells do we have? Oh, I forgot to try this one out. Let's do it. Pixies for the win. Nice, nice. Sure. Let's do that again. See if I can get an even higher number this time. Not bad. I'm gonna blind him. Nope, got him. Okay.
Look at all of this cool shit. There. Oh. Get rid of that. This is the best armor in the... What? Don't give it to him. Give it to Korath. This is the best armor in the game. Dragon plate armor. I do... Give... And enchanted arrows. Nice. And a diamond. Just somebody take the fucking thing. And a key. And a note. Is everybody seriously... Okay, get rid of the crossbow. I don't need that. What's this? Navon. I'm concerned by Count Corvallis' increasing patrols in the area, and I think he will soon discover the entrance behind the waterfall. I know you don't credit him with much intelligence, but his patrol may accidentally follow one of Delacon's envoys. Please return south of Cavil Keep as soon as possible. Huh. Well, well, well. Nice. Which abilities? Okay. Okay. Nice. Well, I got some pretty cool shit. So, I'm gonna go exploit the Guild War once again. After a quick 3-day nap. Here we go. Just travel south. Keep going. I think. Yeah, just keep going. And have a nap, because it's midnight. And then keep going. Do, 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 do. And then go here. Make the sword a little better, and then sell it for 500 bucks. Nice. And then the diamond sell for 2,600 bucks. What about you? You don't want that. That's fine. What about you? Yeah, I didn't think you'd want that. What about you? We're rolling in the money now. Do I really need 2 of these? No. Nice. No tavern. Barmaid. How much food do I have? Everybody can get like, I mean, that's a ridiculous price, but it's fine. What are you? Oh, gambler. Let's see. So now we've got a shit ton of money, which is awesome. Everybody's got cool weapons. Korath has some really cool armor. And we have the key to the place. Wait a minute. Is there anything else I want to do here? Don't think so. Let's see. Oh, yep. So let's go this way for a bit. And then let's go back to the place. Needed rest, apparently. That's out of charges. So we're gonna go back to where we found that guy who killed himself. Because there was a door there that we needed a key for. And gotta make sure I don't fall in the pit. There's the pit. And here we are. So this is the door that we needed a key for. This key. So there's a chest here. But we're not going to open it tonight. I'm going to leave you guys on a cliffhanger. Because this is the end of the chapter. So, at that, I'm going to end things for the night. And, yeah. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you're seeing, give it a like or give me a follow. That's the word I'm looking for. This is Twitch, not YouTube. And I'll see you again on Thursday. Same time, same place. Bye now.